Architect and Interior Design Show would not be possible without the support of our official partner, Studio Banyo, the architect's choice for bathware. Book a product presentation for your practice with Tony Rollins.
Hello and thanks for joining the Architect and Interior Design podcast. I'm Tony Rollins. Yep, it's me. I thought I'd try something a little different today and talk to a prominent merchant here in Sydney, located in Woollahra, which is a hub of architects and designers. This particular merchant, well known throughout the industry and been well established, they have tremendous contacts with the architect and design industry. Plus they've got a very discerning, distinctive clientele, as you would expect in Woollahra. So quite an interesting business. I'm going to be having a bit of a chat with Marc Reed, who is the managing director. Hello, Mark.
How
are you?
How are you, buddy? All right?
Hey, pretty good. One question. I've known this business for years, hundreds of years, maybe.
Probably 30 years.
30 years, yeah, something like that. I'm only 39, so that's pretty interesting.
I'm only 25. So
Hey, so one thing I've never asked, first off, where the hell did the name Candana come from?
So Dad started, Mum and Dad started this business 42 years running now. Dad came from Canada, had a holiday romance with a beautiful Australian lady by the name of Judy Reed, who's my mum. Fast forward a few years later, I was in Mum's tummy and Dad needed to get a job, so he came and worked here, which was back then it was a kitchen and bathroom design centre. Dad had done his architecture degree in Canada, where he worked and lived. And with Candana, he thought he eventually ended up buying the business out of the two other partners. He was drawing kitchens and bathrooms all night. Then we had a construction team at the time and so forth. And he thought Candana was a name that didn't depict bathrooms. He always thought that the business might go down other avenues. So we might go into kitchens or furniture or another thing. So Candana didn't sort of stipulate that we were a bathroom supplier. And then the homage to Canada, his home, it's sort of Candana evolved.
I thought that might have been part of it, but yeah, well, it's now synonymous with bathrooms, nonetheless.
We still consider ourselves. Dad's very good at keeping me humble. We're still a small business. That's the way we consider ourselves. For us, it's just about building relationships, and that's where we've always been, and that's what we've done, and what we feel what we do is right, and just taking care of our architects and designers and just guiding them through a process. I mean, an architect and a designer and a builder, a client, I'm going through the process myself. You've got so much to think about within a house. You've got engineering and roof designs and structural integrity of the property and kitchen designs and internal finishes. And, really at Candana, we just see ourselves as a partner to that process, where we, help design within the architectural layouts that we've supplied. And that's what we've sort of really focused on. One of the things that when I came in, I realised architects and designers lean on us so much, and so the best way to do that is employ architects and designers. So all my staff here are architects and designers. They've all studied architecture and interior design, and what that allows us to do is, if we have a floor plan of a 1 bathroom home to a 15 bathroom home, we can, proportion, I think, is hugely important, understanding the layout, understanding the technical ability within a bathroom. So we really sort of feel like we're peers working with peers to basically just get a beautiful end result.
And I think that's the way you're regarded. In fact, I know that's the way you're regarded in the industry. Interestingly enough, though, there you are with also a very specific type of clientele. They're knowledgeable, and they're opinionated, I think, too.
Sure.
How do you deal with those people?
I think you just deal with them like any other person. Everyone has a particular. Sometimes we'll have an architectural meeting. The architect wants to take complete design control within the meeting, and we just stand back and let them talk. A lot of the times, the architects, probably more so now, being in the business for 40 years. An architect will just come in with a customer and say, right, this is Mark, and he's just going to, take over from here. And we look at the floor plans, and I think, we're all difficult at times, aren't we? Again, it's just about building the relationship, understanding the customer, the client needs, understanding budget. I'm very sympathetic to a customer's budget. I don't think, if we can pull back money, save money where we can for a customer, then, benefit to them, benefit to the customer and to the architect designer.
I think this is kind of a rare beast in terms of the approach, which is very client focused. So many other people are not as committed to looking after their client base as this particular business. The other thing that I note about Candana is how specific you are with those brands that you support.
Yeah.
You seem to be aiming in a particular kind of direction.
Yeah, I look at my competitors. I look at what's needed and what's asked from our architects and designers. I like to build relationships not only with them but with our suppliers, and we've got great relationships with Studio Banyo. Dad saw a need 40 odd years ago when he came here that I think Caroma had about 93% of the market share, and Caroma probably won't like me saying this, but there was a huge world of product and design that's available that hadn't come to the Australian market yet. Yeah. I think we're probably the longest retailers of companies like Villeroy & Boch and Duravit and Vola Tapware and so on. We were started off in days one of Studio Banyo, where we see a company going in the right direction, filling a void within the market, bringing the right product to the market. We're very fixated here on proportion and the perfect product. Something I'm very proud of, we've never had a sale in 42 years. We don't do sales. We give a very strong architectural and design and builders discount to support those people that are loyal to us. But for us, it's about every house is unique, every house is different. So we don't push sales, we don't put promotion of the month, we don't select a product based on our margin, probably to the detriment of my family's, fortune or very little of. We choose a product based on the suitability for the current market.
That's the way it should be. I got to say that from the Studio Banyo point of view, it's great to be here because it's an endorsement.
Oh, thank you. I think you're too kind to me. Again, Candana, I think what we do is we just try and keep it simple. And the reality is, we're just a small piece of the puzzle, particularly in the bathroom market, but then also within creating a house. There's so many trades and technical sort of, questions in a house, but again, it's a relationship. It starts from the customer walking in the first day to the finished product, and something I'm very focused on also is after sales service, because the sales shouldn't stop once the product goes out the door.
Yeah, I think a lot of what you're saying, if there's any merchants that happen to watch this podcast, I think that there's some lessons in here for people, because it is really all about service at every level.
It is, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't stop at the end.
Yeah.
Once that product goes out, and I still see my delivery driver as being as important to this business as I am. I might serve a customer and have a great relationship, but if my driver is the last port of call and he does the last drop off, and he needs to be as professional and understanding and on the job site as we are here in the showroom. So to me, we run a very flat line management structure. Actually, we don't have a hierarchy of structure here. Every one of my staff are just as important as I am, and that's the reality of life.
Good. That's pretty much similar to Studio Banyo, I think.
I think we have a very similar role.
Yeah, I think it is.
Business model.
But it's interesting. And I've been a bathroom guy for hundreds of years, like since the Ming Dynasty, and I find this. There's only two finished rooms that are handed over. That's the kitchen and the bathroom. Well, neither of us is in kitchens, but this is such an important area in terms of how it makes you feel, particularly, and in terms of its longevity as well, because bathrooms tend to outlast kitchens by quite a while. Kitchens get up,
and you want to hope so. I tell customers this all the time. There are more trades that work in a bathroom than any other room in the house.
Yeah,
right? And that's a reality of it. You've got electricians and plumbers and waterproofers and tilers and cabinet makers and carpenters and the list goes on. So it's a costly exercise. And it's one that you want to get right from the start.
Absolutely.
And that's why we've always relied on suppliers of product where, one, we can get good after sales service, we can always get parts for product down the track. And that's important, because you want to know if you're spending, bathrooms aren't cheap. You want to know that in 15 years time you can get a spare part to fix your tap, or You know, no, you don't want to be doing a bathroom every 5 years, that's for sure.
Absolutely, well, because I think the average bathroom in Australia is lasting somewhere between 15 and 20 years, which is a hell of a long time.
Yep.
So you really need to do the best you possibly can when you're installing it now, because you'll be looking at it for a long time, and saving $1 is wasting $1.
Absolutely, and that's what I say. You know, you might spend a little bit more money now when you're doing the build, but you know, in the long run, you're saving a lot of money. You're not having to, you know, pull out product that's all of a sudden become faulty. You can't get parts. You want to spend that little bit more to make sure that bathroom's going to be around forever.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you could buy junk, and the labour cost to install junk is exactly the same as the labour cost to install something expensive.
Yeah.
And it makes a massive difference to your life, to the way things feel. I know I put in a tap in the bathroom with a nameless brand, but I thought, God, what a ridiculous expense this damn thing was, and it is. And every single day I use it, it gives me joy. So there is that intangible thing that comes with some products that it's priceless.
It is, and again, it's an emotional feeling in a bathroom. You know, I don't know about, you know, people listening, but I have 2 young children, a wife that, you know, works full time as well. But you know, the bathroom's that one little bit of peace and tranquility that you get, you know, throughout the day, and you want to enjoy it. You want to get it right. So
and water's it's a very sexy thing. It's a wonderful thing.
I think, you know, we saw probably 10 or 15 years ago a big movement, particularly from the European suppliers, you know, to immerse yourself in water and to appreciate and to enjoy, you know, those moments of solitude which we rarely get. And we're seeing that with shower experiences. You know, one of the big things recently is that, you know, we're seeing a lot of homes including steam rooms into a house and making it a wellness centre within your own home. And you know, I think that's great. I think that's what we should do.
Yeah, I think there's that thing. I know I find that when you close the front gate, you're home, and the world is outside. As much as I like the world, it is nice to lock it out sometimes, isn't it?
Sure is.
Yeah,
we all need that occasionally.
Yeah. Anything else? Some words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. Oh, look, I think, one, it's very important with a bathroom to get it right from the start. You know, there's always, you know, they say on site as a carpenter, you measure, you know, twice, cut once. I think in a bathroom, you know, I say to customers, particularly Saturday, I call them Saturday shoppers, it's mum and dad with the kids and they're designing a home, they've got an architect, they have, both of them are professionals, whatever, and they're working all the time. They get that 1 hour to go and choose bathroom product, and they might go to 3 or 4 different stores. Reality is you're going to see the same kind of product, you know, definitely variations in quality of product, but you're seeing the same similar styles, you know. You know, again, we don't like to think of ourselves as market leaders, and we probably are perceived that way. And then we get, you know, companies selling lesser value product that seem to follow suit into what we do and other retailers in the market that try and push design and so on. Again, all my staff are professionals here, and what we sort of say is take a couple of magazines home, some good brochures, catalogues from, say, Studio Banyo or, you know, Broadway Tapware or Bowl Tapware and stuff, that to have really good inspirational photos. Sit down with a glass of wine and coffee at night, get a design strategy that you actually like, that you want to feel comfortable in. Then come in and see a professional that can understand floor plans and actually help you deliver that product.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. You know, you're saving so much time. You know, you can see a family that's gone to 3 stores, and by the time they come to us and with the 4th store on Saturdays, they're over it. The kids are over it. They're tired. They're probably fighting. They're arguing. You know, I'm, like I said, designing a home with my wife at the moment, and we're doing the same thing. You know, we have difference of opinion on what we want. But if you can just slow down the pace, get a general understanding of what you want within the bathroom, and then look for those industry professionals that can help you deliver the finished product.
I like that. I think basically what we're talking about is a philosophy, and there's a morality behind it as well. Thanks, Mark. That was terrific.
My pleasure.
Terrific. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for watching. I hope you found that interesting. This is really one of the most professional merchants in the country. Candana in Woollahra.
Thank you.